What's up, Gear Mortals? Trey Xavier here, and on today's edition of Gear Gods Quality Control, we're going to be taking a look at the KHDK Dark Blood Distortion pedal. Kirk Hammett has long been an icon of metal guitar playing, being one of the sort of OG guitar gods in thrash metal. And recently he has become something of a tone guru, founding his own pedal company, KHDK, with this guy David Karen. So it's KH, Kirk Hammett, DK, David Karen. It's not Donkey Kong. So they've been recently churning out these really cool pedals. They have this distortion pedal. They have a couple overdrives, a boost, and a fuzz pedal, all of which are just packed with awesome, useful features. So these are designed by a guy in the Czech Republic named Antonín Salva, who is a certifiable genius as far as I'm concerned, but they're handmade in the USA. So this isn't like a Chinese factory pedal or something like that. So the Dark Blood came out just too late for us to include it in our distortion pedal shootout, which you can view right here. And that makes me extraordinarily sad because it is so good. It really would have blown a lot of those pedals right out of the water. In the demo portion of the video, I have run it through the exact same amp, same settings and everything. The clean channel on the Rev Generator 120, everything is exactly the same as it was for the shootout. So if you want to hear it in those same conditions, you can listen to it there. We've got a number of cool features. So there's a high and low switch for high and low gain distortion sounds. I found that the low gain distortion sounds made the pedal a lot more versatile. You could use it for stuff like blues and rock, and then kick it into full high octane metal of just about any stripe. Having the traditional tone knob of a distortion pedal split into the, in this case, what is called doom and treble, but is essentially low end and treble, makes it just that much more versatile. This doom knob is really the jam. You can go very quickly from super, super tight, modern, djenty kind of prog metal sounds all the way to full-blown, just super bassy Sun-O doom. And of course, everything in between. I found that the entire gain range on here sounded really good. It was very tight and clear and articulate all the way through, even when the gain was blasted the hell out. So the treble knob is just what it sounds like. I mean, you get more treble to cut through a little bit more. Also, very powerful. You can easily have way too much, as I discovered. I think as with most pedals, I find that it's if this is about noonish, 1 or 2 o'clock is usually all you really need. And of course, we have the volume knob, which is really important when you're playing with the treble knob because it really kicks up the volume when you start to turn up the treble. So you need to compensate by turning down the volume a bit. Then we come to one of the more unique and useful features of the pedal, which is this one knob built-in gate. Now, I have owned entire dedicated gate pedals that do not work as well as this one little knob that's built into this distortion machine here. It can go so tight, super duper tight if you roll it all the way to the right. For those super choppy rhythms, you'll have just dead silence. I was really impressed with that. You can check it out in the demo. There's one part where there's just like full stop guitar parts and it's just gone. The sound is just gone. That essentially cuts an entire pedal off of your pedal board. A+ on that edition. That's definitely something that probably took them a lot of time to get right, and it's definitely worth it. More importantly than any of these other features is the sound. This is a really, really crunchy, great sounding distortion for a pedal. It's a little reminiscent of a 5150, I think. Kind of like a 5150 in a box, a little bit. I tried it going just straight into the clean channel. Of course, I'm using a really great amp, the Generator 120. But I think especially if you have like, I don't know, kind of an okay amp or something that has a good clean channel, maybe your distortion channel isn't that great, for around $200, you can really kick your tone up a notch with this. Rather than, if you're using some kind of cheap amp that doesn't have that great of a distortion circuit, this could basically replace that. So if you're looking for an extremely versatile, kick-ass sounding distortion pedal with a ton of useful features on board, you should definitely put the KHDK Dark Blood on your list of pedals to check out. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button for more reviews and original content, and I'll see you real soon.